Hello, and welcome to Geek Battle here on the Extreme Improv Extreme YouTube channel, as well as the Geek Battle YouTube channel. Go over to www.youtube.com/@geekbattle, and with that, you make sure you smash that subscribe button, set your faces to stun, use the force, and, you know, do whatever the web thing that Spider-Man does is. I don't know what that's called. Anyway. He shoots all over them. Now, anyway, let's have a look. On the show tonight, we're going to be discussing all kinds of geeky things. We'll play some geeky games. We may be joined by at least one, if not more people, who should be coming in a little bit later. But on the show tonight, let's meet some of our panelists. Like I said, there may be more, and they're going to give us a random geek fact in our opening introductions round. Capelfev, say hello to the people.
What's up, dog? Sailing from the land of leopards, elephants, and crocodiles, and also Ninja Turtles. I'm here to get my geek on. My geek fact for today is that in the new movie Renfield, Nicolas Cage actually shaved his teeth for the movie so that the fang teeth can fit really well and look like an actual teeth that doesn't, like a teeth that is not on. Usually when you put fake teeth on, it usually looks like something's protruding.
Wait,
so he shaved his teeth and he put some teeth on.
He permanently damaged his teeth just for one film?
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds just like him.
Yeah. Like, guys, have you seen that person that, like, turned themselves into a lizard?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that is the first step towards that. I do have a specific response to that, Cap, since you bring it up. So if you bear with me, I will find it. So my specific response to what you've just said is this. Oh, look, there's Tim.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
Pretty good. Get my office all ready for, improv-y, zoomy things.
Absolutely. So, speaking of improv-y, zoomy things, Tim, I'll come to you in a second. Marty, say hello to the people and give us a random geek fact.
Hello, everybody. This is Marty, hailing from the land of rednecks, assholes, and bad drivers, Atlanta, Georgia. My geek fact for this week is, I found this very unbelievable, but it's true. Wolverine and Mr. Spock fought.
What?
And Mr. Spock won.
Easily.
Yes. It happened in 1996. There was an X-Men crossover with Star Trek, and Mr. Spock did the nerve pinch on Wolverine and put him out.
Wow.
What's the nerve pinch?
You don't know the nerve pinch? Like, there is a Vulcan nerve grip where you just go like that on someone's shoulder and it instantly knocks them out.
Oh, that's what Master Splinter does in the Turtles as well.
Yeah, but he doesn't do it like Spock, I guarantee. I love that Kirk's equivalent was just to go like bang on someone's shoulder. Everything in Star Trek was you knock people out via their shoulder.
Well,
Kirk
also had the double fist.
Oh, yes, true.
Yeah. You know, he always did this.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, Sulu had a sword. You can't beat that.
Nope.
That was the absolute best. Now, you definitely get a point there. But, Tim, say hello to the people.
Hello, the people. I'm Tim from Providence, Rhode Island, and my nerd fact of the week is, did you know that at one point the Joker fought Darkseid in the comic books? And he was able to beat Darkseid by tricking Mr. Mitzel-Pixick to give him 99%.
Mixius Piddalik.
What?
Mixius Piddalik.
Mixius Piddalik, yes. Sorry, I got my surnames confused. And the Joker beat Darkseid in it.
Wow. That is definitely worth a point. How was that name pronounced? I never can pronounce that name.
Mixius Piddalik.
Piddalik. Like, in the UK, when we say piddle, we mean taking a piss. Right? Someone will say piddle, and it means, like, to go for a pee. Anyway.
Maybe that's why he doesn't like to say his name backwards, because that's how it defeats him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's definitely worth a Well, he's not here. No point. Right. Okay. So, Cap.
But this is what I'll say. This is why I say Darkseid is a stupid villain. DC don't do it. Okay, I've seen him enough in cartoon.
Well, there you go. So, guys, we're going to play some games and have some fun today, but we're also going to respond to some things. So, like, we can decide if we're going to go into spoilers or not. Obviously, Across the Spiderverse is out. I don't think it's out for a little while yet, but, like, reviews are starting to come in for The Flash, and they seem fairly positive. So, there's bound to be a bunch of other things for us to dig into. But is there anything you guys have seen this week that you would like to respond to? Trailers, shows, movies? Tim?
Halo.
I finally saw the season of Halo.
The live action from Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
Well, I keep making jokes about I can't wait until they come out with a Halo series. And I'd say 75% of this was like, okay, this works. And then the other 25% was like, huh, I wonder who was in charge of that moment. So there's like a couple of things where it's like, wow, Master Chief is I feel like a reality TV show wrote some of Master Chief's sort of like adventures, his like some of his character arc. I don't want to get into it in case anyone actually wants to see the series, but I did appreciate Master Chief's emotional development. And I think I really appreciated Pablo Schreiber taking on the character because I did want to pay attention to like how his facial expressions were toned down, but you could still see like the different qualities of like when he either felt like threatened or not, like no affect, no emotion, or when he's trying to bottle up that rage. But like there's different ways to analyze the movie and the series, and I thought it was decent.
I didn't finish it, is the truth of it. Cap.
I did not like the character arc of Master Chief at all because I think Tim has also seen the animated movies as well, right? With Halo. And there's actually a very bad animated one, I would say, because it's not very up to speed. But in that thing, he's not like that emotional at all. His entire arc is basically like he has been a very super soldierous person since he was a kid. Like he wasn't the kid that's like, oh no, I can't do this like Spider-Man who races to the thing. No, he was the kid who beat up 4 kids when Dr. Halsey saw him. So he was that kind of a person since he was a kid. And I would have liked to see that if that person could develop emotion, because like the show kind of did the Mandalorian thing where they immediately paired him up with the girl, like a tiny girl, a little person. So I feel like maybe she's going to, fletch his emotions out. I'll be fine with that. But like going into his past, like making him like a very, it's not a very inspirational story for him, I would say, because like I never see him become that inspiration, at least the story that they were aiming for. Even at his last moment, it was not him. So he never became that inspirational hero that he was set out to be. So,
I think he had moments of inspiration, like when he's saying, like to Kai, like you're emotionally compromised, like you can't go into battle right now. But I think it doesn't make any sense when he's also in that state. It's like,
although I would say I enjoyed the heck out of that girl soldier. I think she was the most funnest character in that show.
I'm hoping they come out with a second season, and it's sort of like the Game of Thrones model, where it's like, okay, the first season is going to be like, salad. We're going to have all of the basic nutrients. You're going to have to eat all of it because it's healthy. And then maybe you'll have like a nice meal for the second season,
But the problem is that the Halo universe as well. I think he knows more than me, I would believe. They made a lot of world-building mistakes on that one, and I'm already
Absolutely. And calling it like the Silver Timeline and all of the other stuff, like it takes away sort of the discovery process of that lore. That's something that I'm kind of disappointed in. Like Dr. Halsey is like, at one moment there's one thing that I'm just like, I'm fed up with is like Dr. Halsey's like, if we make the human species better, they'll stop being so painful to one another. Meanwhile, her entire character arc is her letting people down, causing pain, and it's just like, no, there's like too many weird things go. All right, sorry, I had a moment there.
They become their own contradiction. I think that's one of the bad things with character writing. They would say, don't make your character contradict themselves. Make them actually, say what they're actually saying. Otherwise, people are going to lose their engagement.
Yeah, I just had a look to see what the status is of like a season 2, and apparently it's deep in production. So it would seem that they're in the middle of making it, but there is no release date yet. But it would say that there is, from what I've got here, they're going to have a new showrunner after that there was negative reaction to the fact that the people that made the show admitted they'd never played the games. So that's.
They never played the game or the books. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, they're like, okay, what if, what if so and so? Let's give them a girlfriend. Yeah, that's a great idea. For like for a moment though, we really want him to feel tragedy or her. Yeah. We want tragedy too. It's like, God, no.
I think I actually thought that Tim would feel more on this one because I know that he said on one time that he's played Halo when he was 12 years old and stuff like that, and he kept playing it for a while. And I was like, oh my God, he's gonna have a torture sitting watching this whole series.
Assault on the control room. You know how many times I played that level, like I'm not the legendary, but heroic, just to get like to save the 8 Marines, and like to get like maybe 9, and then you finally attack the control room, and it's like that's a nice battle that God, but no, let's give this one character a girlfriend, and then let's give them tragedy.
Yeah,
it's 9 episodes. How much can you?
But look, I think we're still missing the elephant in the room. He got his butt out in this series. I know Capithave was thrilled about that back when it first came out.
I think male nudity should just be the same as female nudity. Like, let's be, let's throw it all out there as long as people are okay with it and it's done safely and consensually. So I don't give a flying rat's.
I would say
but you do give a Master Chief's ass.
I would say in the Halo series, don't show any butts. There's no butts-related content.
Well, like, here was the thing. It was controversial, the idea that he's going to take his helmet off. Like we can get onto the Book of Boba Fett. They're like, no, we're not just taking the helmet off.
Disagree. Because if you ever look at Jacob Keyes in the first Halo, you will know that there is a stick shoved so far up his patoot that there probably is something butt-related there. Okay? Just...
Yeah, fair play. Marty, I see you wanted to come in on this. What's your take on this situation?
I've never played Halo, never seen the show. Don't know what it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, okay.
Sorry. I do like that Tim used the word patoot.
That is a good word. You don't hear it often enough.
No, you don't.
PG-13.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, Marty, what have you seen this week?
We started a couple of shows, and so far I'm not like blown away by any of them. We started watching Lower Decks, which is the animated Star Trek.
Yeah. What do you make of it?
So far, not real.
It feels to me.
Real.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead and say what you were going to say.
I was going to say, when I watched it, it feels like if it was just on in the background and I wasn't paying attention to it, I'd probably have the impression that, this is like a funny, like Futurama, like Family Guy, American Dad sort of thing. But if you actually do pay attention to it, it's really not actually funny at all.
No, it's not. And it's weird that to me it's weird that they would do it set in the Star Trek universe, because that gives the whatever
expectation,
that indication that there is a ship out there that's just completely filled with assholes.
Well, I can't remember what show it's on. This might be a tiny spoiler, but apparently some of the characters from Lower Decks appeared in live action, within the last couple of months.
Strange New Worlds, I think.
There you go.
So I don't, and I've seen indications that some characters from Star Trek appear on in animated form, like Counselor Troy and Quark and some other characters like that. So I don't know. We've watched, I think, 3 episodes, and we're not blown away by it. So.
Yeah, that's about where I tagged out as well. So, so far I'm doing really good. I tagged out with Halo after about 3 or 4 episodes. I tagged out with Lower Decks.
We're watching, let's see, we started Fear the Walking Dead, and so far that's season 7 I think is what we're on, and so far that's meh. And what else? Was there anything else? Science fiction or geeky? I can't think. I think I said this last week or the week, whenever we met last. Nothing on television right now is just blowing my skirt up.
Yeah.
My wife did see a trailer on Apple Plus last night for a show called Silo. Has anybody watched that?
I don't have Apple Plus. What did it look like?
Apparently it's like a sci-fi type thing. She said it looked interesting, so I didn't see the trailer. She just mentioned it to me. So.
Okay. Cap, did you want to come in when we were saying about Lower Decks?
Yeah, so I just want to appreciate when you complimented the show, the comedy in fact, that it is funny in the background, but when you actually listen to it, it's not funny at all.
Well, one of the things I don't like about it is every character on the show talks a million miles an hour. And I don't understand why that has to be that way.
I think when they were first making it, they were like, so we're going to get 45 minutes an episode, right? And then when it came to it, they're like, no, 23. And they're like, shit, just speak faster.
Yeah. It's kind of like that to me. And I'm like, slow the fuck down a little bit, you know? It's crazy. And it doesn't help that the 2 main characters are not really likable at all.
Yeah. Always a problem. Tim?
Would you say that the Lower Decks mimics like current cartoons on Cartoon Network?
Yeah, he does go. He does go.
To me, it feels like they're trying to be sort of Rick and Morty-ish.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like that would appeal to younger people so they could pull them back into Star Trek or something, but I don't know. That's just a thought.
Well, that may be the case, and that's fine. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to keep watching it.
Have you seen the unicorn thing, Marty? The coordinator, Tartash, I can't say his name.
What?
Tartakovsky?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a trailer for that. When is that coming?
It's out. Episode's out. I think it's around 6 or 5.
What? Well, you probably wouldn't know. I wonder what streaming service it's on here.
I'm not sure about it. It's Adult Swim. The logo still says Adult Swim.
Okay. What's it called again?
Unicorn Defenders or something, but I'm going to tell you it's not grabbing me.
Okay, well, I have an app that tells you what, if you ever want to watch a show, it tells you what app or what streaming service it's on, or if it's not on a streaming service.
Just whilst you're checking that out, we've got a couple of comments here. Gerald has said, Cocaine Bear, I guess that's what you've seen this week, and it was pretty much as bad as you'd expect. Sort of surprised at some of the actors and actresses on it. And also, The Great North is a good show, and it's got renewed for a 4th season. Has anyone seen The Great North?
What is that?
I don't know. It's a show.
Never heard of it.
And it's been renewed for the 4th season, Marty. Come on. No, I have no idea.
Look it up.
Yeah. See if it's on anything streaming. Cap.
Is it Unicorn Warriors?
Yeah, Unicorn Warriors of Eternal. That's what I was going to say.
It's not available on any of my streaming services.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Unicorn Warriors.
Yeah, I would say that I don't like this stuff. I think the dialogue is bad, and there's a lot of dialogue in this one. It's not like its other shows, where it's very minimalistic dialogue.
The Great North is on Hulu.
Do you know what?
It's
Gerald
anime.
Gerald just says it's cartoon, not sci-fi, Fox on Hulu. So there you go.
It says, follow the Alaskan adventures of the Tobin family as a single dad does his best to keep his weird bunch of kids close, especially as the artistic dreams of his only daughter lead her away from the family fishing boat and into the glamorous world of the local mall. Wow, that sounds exciting.
I don't think you mean that.
Whatever you mean.
It wasn't bleeding sarcasm. It was hemorrhaging.
Do you know what, though? I'm sure you could probably make any show... Maybe we should do this as an exercise, like as a game. Like, how can we make any movie or show sound really dull? Like,
I can do that.
Okay, I'm going to get a random... Well, like, or we can get a random movie or a random whatever TV show. You can just think of one yourselves. But if I get one... Yeah, well, I think we've actually done a version of this before, but it's been a while. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's see how can we make it as dull as possible. Or
just listen to me talk about
it. Welcome to Tim Reads the TV Listings.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I can put people to sleep with my rambling.
Yeah, but like, you know, that's a good thing. You've got one of these voices. It's like Owen Wilson. You just want like a bedtime story, you know. Now, anyway, let's see. I'm going to tell you a movie, and then give me a wave if you want to describe it as boringly as possible. Okay? So, we have Alien. Who can make this sound dull as shit? Alien. Tim?
So, space hauling crew gets visited by an alien, and shenanigans ensue.
Do you know what? I'm still kind of hooked to that. Can anyone make it even more boring, Cap?
If you want to watch the most xenophobic show there is, and instead the idea that all the aliens are bad guys, and the universe is a dark and doomy place that you should not visit, watch the aliens. Hate the bad.
Okay, Marty, can you top that? Make it even more boring?
Kane chokes on his oatmeal. Sigourney Weaver shows lack of ass in panties.
Again, you've won me over with panties. I
know.
I think this has got to be something like, see the enthralling tale about a man with really bad indigestion, and and the misadventures of his friends who have a pest infestation. That's it. That is Alien.
That's pretty bad.
Okay, let's go. Well, I had most thinking time, so let's grab another one. Let's get a TV show. The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. Who can make this? Like, I think you could just describe the latter seasons, and then you're there.
I was about to say, David's about to make this joke.
But okay, who wants to dig at a stab? I should say, at making the Walking Dead sound as dull as it became. Marty.
Scruffy motorcycle rider doesn't know what shampoo is.
That is it. I don't think I can't top that one.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, wow,
that's perfect.
Oh god. Okay, let's grab another one. iRobot. Let's see if we can take a stab at this. Cap, go on, Cap.
If you want to see the most inadequate adaptation of all time, watch iRobot.
Wow, is it real?
Robots don't fight.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Hang on. What's this? Nick Offerman is the voice of the dad. It has animation similar to Bob's Burgers. Okay, so that's the Great North. There we go. Okay. Was there any other takes on iRobot? Tim.
Will Smith slaps a robot. Too easy. Sorry, Will.
Yeah. Okay, let's grab another one. I love it. Okay, let's go for another TV show. And we're going to go with...
Wait, I have one single dad. If you want to watch AI take over the world, well, you don't need to. It's happening anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Oh, Scream. Who can make Scream sound boring? Cap.
If you want to see Shaggy commit a lot of murders, Watch it. It's not gonna be good for Scooby-Doo.
Damn, bro, you went straight in with the spoilers. Right. Okay, let's see. Scream. I think it's going to be like... Okay, go on, Marty. You got it.
Cheap Halloween costume gets more use than expected.
Cap.
You want to watch the movie that actually started the parody of Scream movies? What's the movie? Scary movies? Then watch Scream.
Yeah. Okay, Tim.
High school bullies happen. One of them figures out they want to be a butcher.
There you go. That's his career choice. Okay, let's grab another one. Let's grab another movie. Saw. Specifically, it says Saw 3. But if you want to go for any of the Saw films. Cap.
You want to see the Home Alone kid grow up to be a mass murderer? And that's Saw.
That sounds exciting. That sounds so exciting. You know. Okay, so... See the adventures of some people playing some games they don't want to play. Done. Marty.
Puppets on bicycles? Kermit did it better and first.
Okay, let's see. Let's grab another
What's
TV show.
on the other side?
Right, okay. So, okay.
Rainbows are dreamers only, but I don't remember.
Okay, this one, anyone can obviously come in with a take on this, but Cap or Fabian especially, I think you're going to like this. Tiny Toon Adventures. Who can make that sound?
No, I can't make that bad. It's good. It's good. Okay, if you want to see a less funny Bugs Bunny, then watch Tiny Toon Adventures. You get Buster Bunny.
Yeah. Marty.
Warner Brothers needs money from kids.
Yeah, Cap.
You want to make the cartoon incest even more? Watch Buster and Babs Bunny. They never specify that they're related or not.
Incest! Right, okay. Yeah. Good. Okay, let's grab one more. One more movie. Okay, and we have Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, go on, Cap.
If you want to watch Johnny Depp go on permanent this mode forever after his career, watch this movie.
Yeah. Oh, I've got one for this. Amber Heard's ex-husband struggles with alcohol for 2 hours. Done. Okay, Marty.
That's like...
Okay.
That's interesting. Not with the whole ex-husband Amber Heard part, but just like struggling with alcoholism for 2 hours. That's like a conflict.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He just wants
But
the
it's
rum.
hilarious.
He wants the rum. Marty, were you going to say?
Who knew Keith Richards could be an actor's role model?
Yeah. Tim, are you going to come in?
A crew of a boat try and find another boat.
Sums it up. And we'll leave that one for there. Yeah, we'll do this more in future. This was good. Or maybe we find some boring things and try to make them sound more exciting. But let's save that for another time. Or maybe we'll come back to that later. For now, look,
You know that
I do have to say I love the Pirates movies, but I would say that it made Johnny Depp the default mode of doing this all the time after his movies. After Pirates of the Caribbean, all that he did in his movies is go this.
I heard someone say on a podcast the other day that he is turning into Captain Jack.
no way.
I mean, well, look at him now. He's like scraggly and dirty and wears scarves and lots of rings and stuff. I mean, he basically has turned into Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
He did what Robert Downey Jr. did in Tropic Thunder.
But what I'm going to say is,
Did he?
making dumb movies sound exciting is kind of like when you say Hollywood, instead of remaking good movies, remake some bad movies and make them good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think they also call it PR. Like public relations. Like that's...
Whatever happened to... Speaking of bad movies made good or remade good, like Bob Odenkirk remade The Room earlier this year. Did that ever get released?
I have no idea.
I'm going to look that up. Bob
You mean the Tommy Wiseau one?
Right, okay, so yeah, the Tommy Wiseau film, Better Call Saul guy, like Bob Odenkirk, did a shot-for-shot remake of it. I'm going to tell you the information here. And let's see who's in it.
Please, Tommy Wiseau be in it.
The Room remake. No, he didn't even know that they'd done it. The film was scheduled to be released digitally in June 2023. Oh wow, so the film is scheduled to be released digitally in 2023. That's amazing. They filmed the whole thing in one day, which is also amazing. It says here.
I want to see it.
Yeah. It says commenced in January 2023 for one day. And it was a green screen, entirely shot on green screen. And let's have a look here.
They actually complimented the room on the green screen shot that they did on the building. They said, like, this is one of the most brilliant, actually beautiful looking effect on a very useless movie.
Well, Tommy Wiseau has a new movie coming out.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the trailer for it. If we were on StreamYard, which the only reason we're not is because it didn't work for me.
It's called Big Shark.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
And it looks so bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so good.
That's what we're paying for.
Can someone tell me about Tommy Wiseau? Like, I'm not familiar with his story at all.
Oh, okay, hang on. So you've probably seen some clips from the film The Room, right?
Yeah, with James Franco, I think.
Oh, that was a film about the making of it called The Disaster Artist. But so if you've seen that film, that kind of is the story. But the idea is that there's this guy, no one knows where he's really from, no one knows his actual age, and suddenly he had about $4 or $5 million to finance a film that he was the lead, that he wrote and then was the lead in, and the film made no sense. Like, when you watch the film, it seems like a bad film, but it is so bizarre in the events that happen in the film. It's gained like this iconic status, and like he had a big billboard of himself, like with his face put on, like in Hollywood or wherever it was, for like a number of months, and people were like, how did this guy get the money? He filmed like a scene on top of on top of a roof of an apartment block, but he did it with a green screen background instead of just going and filming that on a roof. It's like the simplest location in the world, but they did that really expensive green screen effect. And
it looks pretty good. And that's the weird thing, the green screen is pretty good.
Do you mean the scene where he comes in and says, I did not hit her?
I did not hit her. I did not.
Yes.
Oh, hi,
That's
Mark.
green screen?
That's green screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that good.
It does look good.
Yeah. And
So there's like a subculture now around the most mediocre movie made with lots of money ever.
yeah,
Oh, it's not even mediocre. I mean, I've never seen it, but just based on that one scene, you can tell it's bad.
Like, are we talking like Cabin Fever, like first version, bad?
it's so much
Jim,
worse.
I'm going to send you a review for this, and I'm just gonna, take all the laughs that you're gonna have in the future.
Well, look,
Okay, cool.
Can we play a clip on here?
we can't play a clip on here, unfortunately.
Okay.
It would
I
get
can
flagged.
put it out.
But it's got stuff in there which literally makes no sense. Like, some of the actors quit halfway through, and then a different character turns up and just takes over the role, basically. And it's like, who is this character?
Google The Room, I did not hit her.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
watch that scene.
I did
I'll
not
do
hit
that
her.
after-
I
I'll
Oh,
do
did
like,
that.
Marty, if you've just got that one clip, there's no music on it, we can probably get away with it. If you want to hold it up.
Oh, wait.
I can
I'm
hear it
sorry.
already.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm hooked into my Bluetooth speaker. Hold on.
Okay.
Shoot.
But yeah, like, there's stuff in it that makes no sense. There's tons and tons of story ideas which go nowhere. There's a character in it who sits there with, like, a young woman, and she's an old lady, and she's like, well, I definitely have cancer. And then it's never mentioned again. And then they say to him, well, why was that in there that she just says that? His reasoning was, it's a twist. On what?
Here you go.
No,
Okay,
I
let's-
would describe it. I would describe it
Okay.
as that.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Marv. Oh, hey, Johnny, what's up?
It's such a good film.
I would say this. It's the world's baddest movie that's also very entertaining.
I just saw the quick clip, and
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Marv.
My favourite bit, though, the most famous quote from it, is like his girlfriend Lisa's like cheating on him or whatever, and he goes, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa!" And he's got like this big over-the-top acting, and his face is kind of a bit funky shaped. And there's so much that's like mysterious about this guy.
it reminds
My
me
favorite is
of.
that when he's about to pick a fight and he goes, cheep, cheep, cheep,
Cheap, 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 cheap. Yeah.
And also, they wear tuxedos when they're playing football. For some reason, they dress up and they just throw a football around. I don't know what that scene is. They dress up, they throw a football, and that's it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, like, I think on YouTube there's this series of singers from like South America or something, and they're singing like Linkin Park, but they're kind of doing broken wise, and it like just or like metal music from America, and then just like the blend of the two make it almost so chaotic that like you really like. I kind of want to watch The Room just to see how much I want to see. Like, okay, how much are you rooting for the underdog? You know?
Yeah, it's a film where it's like this. It seems terrible, but if you, again, this is one of these things where if it was just on in the background, you'd be like, "Oh, this doesn't seem very good." But if you pay attention to it, it's kind of thing where you can't stop watching, just for like, what is going on? Like, what were they thinking?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's more you're just trying to figure out like why did they decide this?
Yeah.
But to put it down, like the others I think are like a parody, you know, like the music. But you know, does The Room have this notion of it being a parody, or is it just like really this one guy who's got lots of money?
So the guy, Tommy Wiseau, right? He never realized that it was a parody for a while. He thought he wrote a very genuinely dramatic film about the guy and his how life is suffering, and there's gonna be I think when Frank, what's his name, the guy?
James Franco?
Yeah, James Franco. When he actually wanted to do the movie about the making of the film, Tommy Wiseau wanted Johnny Depp to play him.
Yeah.
Like, I need Johnny Depp to play me.
Yeah.
You're not playing me. But I would say he later realized that this was like unintentionally funny, and he made a lot of money out of it. He just like went to place, and he just went to screenings, and he made a lot of money out of it. In fact, he did copy strikes to people who reviewed his films on YouTube because they haven't paid him for it.
Yeah, but yeah, like, go ahead. Was someone gonna? No, what I was gonna say was like the weird thing is that people still don't really know what this guy's story is, and you know, like in the end, he kind of gets the last laugh because, like, James Franco is someone that's had a lot of controversy and stuff around him, and you know, justified or not or whatever. It came right when James Franco was about to be nominated for an Oscar for playing this character. But, so he wasn't because this controversy came up. But just before this happened, he did get, like, the Golden Globe or whatever. He won for playing Tommy Wiseau. And when he did
Tommy Wiseau was there.
Yes, this is what I was going to say. When he won the Golden Globe and he came up to do his speech, he's like, "Tommy Wiseau, come and join me on the stage." Tommy Wiseau just walked up and he goes to take the mic from James Franco to deliver the speech himself. He's such a weird guy. Oh, dear.
Tommy Wiseau is like, he's like those contestants on American Idol who think they can sing, but they're terrible.
Yeah. Oh my God, you know, like, we have, like they've got America's Got Talent. We've got we've got Britain's Got Talent, which is the original version of it, and it was just won by a guy who wears like a high vis jacket and takes it off, and there's another high vis jacket on underneath.
What's a high vis jack?
Like I don't know.
This high vis is the stuff you see like road workers wearing.
Yeah.
So like high visibility,
yeah.
the neon and stuff.
Yeah, like neon, like yellow and stuff like that. And he comes on and he's dancing to it, and he takes it off, and there's another one underneath, and he dances a bit more. And it's not, when I say dancing, he's just skipping around the stage, and that won.
What?
So it won the entire competition. It's kind of like, it's funny to a degree, but it's sort of funny in the sense of like, wow, I can't believe someone's doing it. And like weird public that, especially in the UK, we often on these talent shows will vote through like the least talented people, or the ones that are so bad.
Although I went earlier, I think when I was watching this stuff, at the time they actually did have really good stuff, and usually the people like this would get booed off by Simon, then he would say a very mean thing, and that will become the YouTube clip.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that right now it's in a different route.
Yeah, go on, Marty.
I mean, I've probably talked about this before too. I'm very repetitive, but it's just an epidemic in the world these days. Everybody wants to be famous, and they'll do anything to try and be famous. It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, whatever. It's just awful.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy.
But in a sense, though,
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
You're tearing me apart. Yeah, that's great.
But like, think about it, right? In a sense, like TikTok. In a TikTok, a lot of influencers are just basically not even good dancers, just
Okay, like,
dance-ish. I would
have
say.
you seen on TikTok? This was a couple of months ago, but there's a guy on there who's quite large, and he's worked out how to make his like stomach fat just sort of bounce on its own. Have you guys seen this?
No, I don't want to see it.
But like, he does it in time to music.
I know, but I see that every night when I take a shower.
But yeah, it's like anything can be a talent these days. Anything. Okay.
And the weirdest thing is that the video that you must actually do put effort on does not do well at all.
I know.
The most idiotic video that does.
Real quick before we move on, you would think that somebody would hire a private detective or something just to find out what Tommy Wiseau's backstory is.
Yeah.
But
There's some. I think his ex-girlfriend one time.
there's got to be a way to find out.
There was one thing that his ex-girlfriend actually said, that he was around like 56 or something like that. That was his actual age, and he was part of like a bank robbery crew, something like that. And he used to be a criminal, and he moved to America afterwards, and that's how he got all his money. But it's from an ex-girlfriend, not a very trusted source, but that was one of the rumors that actually came out when the Disaster Artist came out and became very popular.
It could be like a first version of AI. Right.
Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, Tommy Wiseau is
Yeah.
AI?
He is the first
like-
Terminator.
Well, that would be the most boring Terminator. Like Tommy Wiseau, like watch as Tommy Wiseau, the first Terminator, makes a movie.
Yes. I will be back. Oh, hi, Mark.
But here's the thing, Netflix actually does stand-up special written by AI. They actually do that every year.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay, do
there's
you know what? If you guys haven't used this, who here has used that Chat GPT thing? Right.
I've
I don't
kind
want
of.
to.
I'm going to ask
I've
it to make
interacted
up
with
a geeky joke for us, and let's see. Okay, can you make?
There's a comedy theater here in town that does. They do live AI joke telling. I don't know how they do it. I haven't been to one of the shows, but
I've actually done it on Extreme once, where when David did 99 jokes, I was testing ChatGPT at the time, and I did David wrote 10 jokes, and David was like, "Cap, that was actually good. They were actually jokes." Yeah, but I didn't tell them.
That's funny. Okay, so it's come up instantly with 10. So it says, why did the programmer go broke? Because he lost his cash. Ah. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like, I'm not going to lie. That's the quality of joke I'd come up with on Extreme. Then it says here, why did the computer take up boxing? It wanted to become a heavyweight server. I don't get that one. Right, okay, let's see.
It's also confused between Geek and nerd.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if there's anything better. What did the Star Wars droid take? Why did the Star Wars droid take a vacation? It needed some R2 relaxation.
That is a great dad joke.
It said it needed some R2 and R.
Wait.
But I'll say this though, I feel like
Or R and
ChatGPT
R2.
purposefully gotten dumber, or are we just realizing? Because at the start of the AI thing, I actually got good material from it, not jokes, but like from other writing stuff and stuff like that, and I thought it was pretty good. But as it went on, it actually got dumber, and that's what I'm thinking. Is it me? Do I just realize that it's dumb, or it just became dumber?
Yeah, I think it's interacting with humans.
No, we live in the movie Idiocracy, guys.
Okay, hang on. I asked it make up some Batman jokes. Let's see if this is a bit more specific. Why did Batman become a chef? Because he wanted to beat eggs, not criminals.
Okay.
What do you call Batman when he skips church? Christian Bale.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
These are terrible.
I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah, that was good.
This
But
one's
also,
this one's the best
have
one.
you guys-
Okay, 1 second.
Okay, good.
How does Batman's mother call him for dinner? She doesn't because she's dead. No, I'm joking. I made up that punchline. Right. How does Batman's mother call him... Do you know what? That's the best joke that Nick came up with. How does Batman's mother call him for dinner? Dinner, 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 Batman.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's a dad joke level.
But-
So ChatGPT is dead.
Yeah.
If you guys seen the video where they actually made AI copy Kevin Conroy's voice, and there's a YouTube channel that basically gives advice to kids, like how to be like Batman, or how to be an honorable fellow, or it's basically like Kevin Conroy's voice. I can't really tell the difference.
Well, didn't they just accuse Russia of releasing a video that was all AI of Putin?
Really?
Giving some kind of a speech, and they said this was AI generated.
Wow.
It was him. It wasn't just his voice. It was like him and his voice, and they said it was AI generated.
Okay, I don't get this one. Sorry, guys, I'm still distracted here. It says, what did Batman say to Robin before they got in the Batmobile? Robin, get in the car. Like, I still think it needs to take a few classes, basically.
Yeah.
Or like
It's
Jim
writing
says, right,
course.
it got dumber after interacting with humans.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll say that.
All I can think of is just League of Shadows.
Oh my god, yeah. I love the fact that like people couldn't understand his voice, and so he then just because he'd played Patrick Stewart in like one of the Star Trek movies, like the younger
Yeah, he did.
version. He was literally
Nemesis.
like, if they can't understand me, I'm just going to do the whole thing as Jean-Luc Picard. So in the original, it's just like this. He's just like it's a muffled voice, and so when they did the voiceover, it's like, you're going to suffer some pain. And it was just like really over the top.
I'm not going to break your body, your body, but your spirit.
I thought it was like a cross between Sean Connery and who else?
Look, listen to
I
it
don't know,
again.
I
It
can't
just
think
sounds
now.
like he's doing his Patrick Stewart. He's like, you have my permission to die. And it's just like,
Alright,
you know, it's great.
Yes, I hear it now.
you
Yeah.
have my permission to die, Trebek.
Okay, guys, has anyone else seen anything else of interest?
I've seen Spiderverse.
What, Across the Spiderverse?
No
Yes.
spoilers, please.
Oh, no
I would
spoilers.
say it's very worth the wait, but I'll say this without spoiling, you're going to be waiting for a long time as well.
Wait, we're going to be waiting a long time.
Yeah, there's a sequel, baby.
Oh, so...
Well, I heard that at the end it says to be continued or something like that.
Yeah, so, but the thing is that again, I feel like they could have done this whole thing in a one film because I feel like they stretched this film out a lot of it. They kept repeating the kind of like the same scenes again and having the same thoughts in again and again. And But the thing is that they're likable characters, so you basically like watching them talk. They're not annoying, it doesn't get old, so they've done that pretty well. But I would say there are some dialogues and scenes just kept repeating, and I don't think they should have. I think the opening kind of also, like 20 minutes, focuses on other characters more than our hero.
Well, is there any animated film that should be longer than an hour and a half?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Yes, but I don't know what.
I would like to see Treasure Planet stretch out a bit more. Maybe Aladdin. And yeah, that's all I got. Treasure Planet.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a really good question. I think you might be right. I think that's a good length for an animated film.
I agree.
Like, maybe something like The Lion King, you know, if it was a little bit longer, it wouldn't have overstayed its welcome too much.
I would say Aladdin's pretty good. You get more Robin Williams. Because, you know, after the opening of the film, a lot of the film is without the genie. And with the genie, you get one song, and then very short couple of scenes, and then it just skips to the end. The lie is revealed, and it skips to the end. I would have liked to see, you know, Aladdin and Genie interact a little bit more. We could have gotten...
They did that in the remake, though. They did that with Will Smith.
The Snyder cut of the Flashpoint Paradox.
Has anybody seen the Little Mermaid remake?
I have not yet. I
don't
may be
do
soon.
It. Don't do it.
I'm not planning on seeing it.
I may see it soon.
I know what happens in it, and again, it is as stupid as it's going to be predicted out to be. And again, I mean, like the thing, right? It is mentioned that King Triton has like 7 daughters. Basically means that he has the 7 daughters is a thing for the 7 Ds. So basically, he has 7 wives now, and I don't know why, because that ruins his character. Because in the older animated films, is that he had 1 wife. And she died, and that's why he became a very, you know, character.
Instead of a merman, he's a moorman.
Okay, just one second, just to interrupt here.
That didn't go on very well, did it?
I think of a Christian Bale or something like that. You had to tie that into the joke, too.
Okay, so Dorna says, David, just watched Vigo Ven's routine on Britain's Got Talent, and it's awful. What the hell? That's the name of the person. So now, thank you, Dorna. I can now show these guys what it is that he does. So I'll just hold it here. So look, there's one of Anton Deck. He goes like this, and he's got a hottie viz jacket on. He dances around. You can see the quality.
Why are the hosts so excited?
I don't know, because they always act. It's like the fakest show on television. They don't care.
Yeah,
right?
but
he takes off the jacket, and he's got more jackets underneath. This is the entire routine.
Well, Simon doesn't look excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Simon's shtick is completely just his character anyway.
Supposed to be miserable.
Yeah.
He won the grand prize?
Yeah, he won it all.
Oh, that's bad.
Look, he's like, oh, and he's like, what, more? And then he takes it off. And this is it. And the worst thing about it nowadays, and look, I know people that have gone on to these competitions and that, and it's so much more rigged than what you see on television. But like
one YouTuber, who's a singing YouTuber, talked that about X Factor. Is that he's a Swedish guy, but he's very big on YouTube, reading music videos. They called him and asked him to come and join X Factor, and they also mentioned that he doesn't have to actually really compete. They could really, you know, bump him up in the top of the competition.
Yeah.
And he was like, no.
Well, look, here's the thing. On the finale, and look, there's like 3 rounds, so they, you know, obviously they can suddenly start to have professionals work and say, oh, what should your act be? But unless it's the guy saying, hey, this is my 3rd act for what I want to do for the final, and he comes up with it all, literally in the final, it showed like pictures of his face on the screen at the back, like Space Invaders, and then Simon Cowell's face was shooting them. And it's like, so you're playing into Simon Cowell, who's got like 30 years of TV experience, as part of the act, and then he goes over to the judges and he gives Simon like a big pin, and he comes out like I've seen clowns do, where he pushes himself inside a balloon and then Simon Cowell has to come on stage and pop the balloon. It's like Simon Cowell is now part of this act, because then when he pops the balloon, he's wearing a high-vis jacket, and he gives one to Simon Cowell to dance with him. And it's like, you can't make the one of the judges part of your act, because then they're going to vote based on the person that's had 30 years of fame.
At this point,
David.
I think all they're doing is they're feeding I have a friend who went to Vegas not long ago, and there is a America's Got Talent stage show in Vegas, and I think all they're doing is they're feeding these live shows the contestants that are doing well, and they're making money off of these shows.
It wouldn't surprise me. I saw a stand-up comic a month or two ago who won last year on Britain's Got Talent, and he was very good. The show was incredibly long. That was a massive mistake, and he went on for about 30 minutes at least. Then he brought on his own warm-up act, and it's like, you've already been on stage with Warm, right? You've been there for half an hour. This guy went at least half an hour, and then the second act was after an interval was about an hour and a half, but a big portion of it was him just talking about Britain's Got Talent. And it's like, well, fair enough, you're going to leech off of that, and not in a bad way, I don't blame him. But it's like, it feels like a lot of these things are manufactured. Cap?
David, I'm just, suggesting you get some jackets and then, do the next audition. That's what I'm saying.
The thing is, I've done stuff in the past. There's a blooper of me from a film I was in, on YouTube, where I'm wearing a high vis jacket. And it's the idea of the film I'm in is that all of them other men in the world have been wiped out, and I'm the last man alive. And then because I'm captured, it's how are we going to repopulate the Earth? And it's instead of it be him my character being something he's a hero, or not necessarily a hero, but he's necessary, the person who's in charge of the government or whatever just takes me as a sex slave. And the idea is that they just throw a banana at me and it crotches me really badly, but I'm wearing a high-vis jacket in that scene. Anyway, Tim, you were going to say?
So, I feel like we're kind of just commenting on the mediocrity of what we're seeing in mainstream. That's a lot of different shows. Maybe we could also add, what you guys are working on, or what... I don't know, instead of commenting on the mediocrity, sharing what you think, or sharing someone's progress that you've been tracking and what you think's good about it. Just to throw in a little bit of positivity and using the space to also promote someone else's work.
I would say check out the animators on YouTube. I'm always saying that, watch Lackadaisy. There's also Hell of a Boss. Again, just a bunch of animation. It costs a lot. It's actually a lot of effort, and they deliver on a lot of the stuff. And I would say YouTube, crowdfunding, and stuff like that, even comic books sometimes, the mainstream comic books don't do well, but crowdfunding comic books do well right now. And I would say, because right now the internet, there are more access, and indie people can get more, projects run through. But I don't think even that circle has become so much, is that they're not even getting that enough resources, because there's so much creators now on online as well. So again, we have actually we're in a race where Marty is saying, everyone wants to be famous. It's everyone actually doing something right now, and actually we are in too much of a media dump to actually even the starters to begin, and also the already people who are up there getting attention and stuff like that. It's going to get really hard, because there's so much content now from the mainstream and also in YouTube.
It'd be nice if YouTube could recommend things based on interests rather than impressions, because I know sometimes when I get I look up something, I get something leaning towards the political, which from my experience I've never really resonated with political essays on YouTube, and then I just go on Vimeo to communicate to Google that no, I don't like the way these interests are going. I'd like to hear more about essays on why Darth Sidious is an intentional bad guy or something. It's kind of fun. Less of the seeking out antagonistic stuff that gets media coverage.
Yeah.
And that's also the problem with YouTube, is mostly now the algorithm basically attention-based. It's not in the sense like your interest-based or anything like that, it's mostly attention-based. If any video that's going to get click-throughs or just going to, you're going to zone on it,
Yep.
they will recommend that. They're not going to actually, put that much algorithmic effort on.
Yeah, and that's what I do appreciate, like, I do appreciate going through Vimeo and like seeking differently created stuff, because there are like creatives there, and they're on YouTube as well. But with YouTube, you also get that sort of like clickbait where it's like, watch this person own this group, or watch this person decimate this group with words, and it's like, great. I haven't seen that before in high school or on Facebook or anywhere else in this media sphere. So anyways, back to... sorry, I went back to criticizing things, and
that's the problem. It's so easy. There is a weird thing where it's so much easier to pick apart like the one thing you didn't like with something, rather than like we'll watch like Spider-Man or Flash or whatever comes out, and we'll be like, yeah, it was good. But then there was this one scene and the continuity was wrong, and this one thing in the background. It's like, I don't know, it's something of human nature where we pick out the flaws, and that is it's truly wrong. Just very quickly, we'll come back to this. There's a few comments to pick up on. Asad Khan says, "Hi Cap, where's your water jug?"
Oh.
There you go. That answers that. I don't have. This is a kind of container. There you go, Assad. You'll enjoy that one. Now, Gerald says a couple of things. I understand it's not a remake. Is it a different version? That was a few minutes ago. I apologise. I don't remember what we were talking about at the time. But then Gerald also says, I wonder if this, if it is a sort of thing like the Reddit thing where people were buying into stocks to hurt institutional investors. It's like making fun and a mockery of what it was to be. Yeah, quite possibly. Tim?
I'd like to get to the maybe the psychology of it, is that as humans, we're always looking for the threat to our safety. Because if we're not looking for that and then something comes along, so like our minds are geared towards looking at the negative.
Yeah, probably.
It must be an intentional choice in some cases to understand the positive. That can also be like toxic positivity, like, smile, there's no problems. But, an understanding that our minds are kind of designed for that is important in how we evaluate systems and creative ideas. And that can also be addressed through improv.
I would say this, though.
Yeah, go on, Cap.
I would say I would love to talk about all the good things as well. I think I do point out the bad and also to point out the good. And also, I love to geek out about good stuff. It's more fun to actually geek out about good stuff. Oh my god, that's so cool, this happened. And like, you can actually make an hour essay on the art style of Spiderverse and Puss in Boots and stuff like that. But here's the thing, though. A lot of from now on, from Disney, for example, right? They kind of make movies now to make fun of, in a sense like that. All the remakes are just content for you to make fun of. And because of that, they also generate numbers where it did actually blow up when everyone was controversial about the film. And they are actually aiming towards the negativity, so you're going to get the negativity in most of the parts. And a very good movie comes out and it's like, it's much to talk about the thing I hate than the thing I actually like, because this one hurt me.
Yeah. So a couple of points just to pick up on here. First of all, when is it? I understand it is not a remake; it's a different version. Gerald says he was talking about The Little Mermaid. I don't know. Like, I think it is a remake in as much as it's going to have like a lot of the same songs in the same places, but just like they altered things, especially in Dumbo, or like how I guess like Jungle Book had like different sequences and stuff, and there were some things which they felt had aged poorly. you know, they'll have the creative license to change things where they want. But I think in terms of I think it's still intended as a remake rather than something like Maleficent, which was telling the story from a completely, you know, Maleficent isn't a remake of Sleeping Beauty. It's like a complete reimagining from like a different character's perspective. There's a couple more things to say, but Cap, if you want to jump in on that.
So I would, on the Sleeping Beauty and also on the Snow White front, those films are very, actually, plot-wise, there's not much happening in a sense, like. And you can actually add on a lot of stuff in that old movies, because, you know, they were very old, they were very short cut scenes, and you can add on. And Daniel George actually said, there's a woman actually who wrote books on these, and most of the books seem very accurate to the Disney remakes that they're doing. I do not know about the official connection behind these, but it could be that. But one with the Little Mermaid that I just want to point out is that it had all the same stuff in it. But one thing that from what I heard, I haven't actually seen the film, but from what I heard is that they removed the scene where Eric actually kills Ursula, and they made like little Ariel's killing Ursula as a thing that. But I would say, why? Because in the film, Ariel saves Eric from the ship when it was burning down. And she saved him twice, actually. And he was actually, in a sense, returning the favor when Ursula was trying to kill Ariel. He took an old ship and he's actually, you know, a sailor. And he killed Ursula. But it was equal in the film. They both had their own heroic moments. But in this, he has 0 moments. He doesn't save Ariel at all. And why not?
Yeah. So, good point. There's a couple more points here I'll take in from the comments. I always love it when we get comments. Not that I'm trying to not hear you guys. But Assad says India recently got its first ever comic book store called The Comic Book Store. And it's 2 minutes from where he lives, and it's almost always empty. That's interesting. Like, hopefully within time. Like, I'd be interested to know. I don't know. Like, how is it? All of the comics in English, or are there like comics that are original out there? You know, it's an interest. It'll be interesting to see if it's only just opened, if it's something brand new and they've never had a comic book store. Like, if people start to get into it and get into that culture of things. But then Gerald also says, good thought, Tim. We don't have tigers stalking us, so we have to fear and focus on other things. So yeah, like if we don't have stuff like that, then we put our energy somewhere else. But then Gerald also says, to Cap and David's thoughts, that may be correct. I wish I knew specifically what thought that referred to. He says, no, I don't think it is. Talk about what you hate rather than what you love, because what you love, people can attack and hurt your view of it and how you relate to it. Now, that's a really good point. So, I can say, like, when I was at school and stuff, if I'd be like, oh yeah, I've got like a new game on my Amiga 500, everyone would be like, ooh, you've got an Amiga. It's like, Super Nintendo and stuff like this. So it's like, no, it's cool though. And like, yeah, well, I don't often play it. And then you end up like, you know, you end up not saying about stuff. So it's kind of true. So how about that?
And then 30 years later, you're considered like a niche expert on it.
Yeah.
And you become famous for it.
Yeah, I'm going to like geek out for a moment and just prove it because...
Nice.
Ta-da!
Oh, there you go.
There you go. This is a mini Amiga 500. So how about that? It is true. These are some good comments, and like, okay, so let's take Tim up slightly more on this challenge there. What is something that, you know, to find the positive in something? Tim, I'm going to turn it straight to you here. What?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give credit to Cap because he talked about crowdfunding, and you can find a lot of different small projects there. Like you go on Start Engine, they're mainly like for businesses and stuff, but Indiegogo, Kickstarter. There's a couple other places where you see a lot of creative products out there that could be like toys or computer games or comic books. I think I did one called Rise of a Goo, and it was a comic book written by this guy named Tim Blessed, who's a climate change activist, and he's also like a pretty well known rap artist in like the Boston, Springfield area in Massachusetts. And when I read his comic book, it kind of felt like a PG-13 version of Annihilation, which like the way they speak about, you know, like indigenous populations and how the environment's going, like, it was really good. And I think that I found something that I resonated with. I followed the artist for a while, and they created something to the point where they're like, you know, showcasing it at the Rhode Island Comic Con. There's some good stuff out there. It has to be intentional, and that can be hard because there's so much stuff striving for our attention.
Absolutely. Marty, what would you like to be positive about?
Well, I wish I was a little bit more up on it. Not being employed, I haven't been able to spend as much time or money in comic book stores like I used to, but I agree with Tim about Kickstarter because most of the comics that I've really, really, really loved over the last couple of years have come from Kickstarter. I kickstarted... there's an artist named Ryan Brown, and he is most well known for a comic series called God Hates Astronauts. And it's a very, very strange, weird comic book. Now that I don't know why, but nowadays I am very attracted to the weirder the better. So I just noticed the other day that he's kickstarted a new chapter of God Hates Astronauts. I may or may not be able to get in on that because of money, but I'm sure I'll be able to pick up a copy at some point down the road. There is a series that I just picked up the last issue of called what's it called?
Frankencrap. I love that comic.
It's called Franken...
It's all poop jokes.
Oh, it's called Frankenrocker and the Jailbait Punks, and it's by a Polish artist named, I think his name is Lucas Kowalczyk.
Okay.
And his style is very different and very unusual, very cool. I just picked up the 4th issue of that, and I've waited till I've gotten all 4 issues to read it. But I'm still on the hunt for a really good comic book store here in Atlanta. The one I had in Seattle they didn't carry just Marvel and DC, they carried a lot of weird alt stuff, and I have not found a comic book store here in Atlanta that does that yet. But I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, I would have to pimp out my own press, Microverse Press. My friend Craig and I, and a couple of other artists that we've known over the years, have created some pretty weird, strange stuff. And if you want links to that...
yeah, like, do it. Marty, I'm going to be honest. The amount of shows you've done or whatever, tell me, what do you mean your own press?
Well, we created our own books, and they're out there for you to buy them.
You should plug this more. So what's it called?
I wish I had the actual... Well, let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, do it.
If somebody else wants to talk... I don't have the...
Yeah. I'll vamp for you for a minute. Look, I'm going to kind of like give a shout out, and it's a kind of another indie kind of thing. This is like a video game kind of thing. So obviously you get like Nintendo and PlayStation and stuff like this, but something I've got quite into recently is something called Evercade, and it's kind of like, obviously you get arcade, but this is like, I guess, like Forevercade, because it's lots of old games, and you get them on like a handheld like this, and you get these cartridges. And so it's not like CDs or DVDs or whatever. And you plug these cartridges into the back, and each of the cartridges usually has like 5, 10, sometimes 20 games on them. And they've got old things like Pac-Man on them, and it's got things like Street Fighter 2 and stuff that like you'll have heard of. And then it's got like some random stuff that perhaps you'll never heard of, or it's like an indie thing made by like someone nowadays, but in an old style like that. And one of the things that's cool about it is like, you know, I can't imagine who, especially no one on this show, but like I know that some people just like download games that, you know, they haven't paid for and stuff like this. But this is a way where, like, when you get these old games, it does go back to the original people that made the games and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. And it's like, it's kind of cheap. So whereas like most games will be like 40, 50, sometimes in the UK now, like new games, if they're like PS5 and that, are like up to £70. But like on the Evercade, even though they're old games, you get like 8 or 10 or 20 games, and they're like £15. So it's, you know, it's quite cheap to get an official version of some of this stuff. So Marty, since I have vamped there, and Evercade need to like, they need to sponsor my gaming channel basically.
There's two places you can get these books. You can order digital or printed copies at IndiePlanet, indyplanet.com/microverse-press. And we've got 7 books on there right now. Most of them are just art books, but we do have, a few years ago, we put together an all-collage graphic novel. It's in comic book form. It's got a story, albeit very strange.
Wow.
Story. You can buy that. This one, you can, if you go to my Instagram at What Would Jesus Glue, there's a link to my Etsy shop. And this is one that I did on my own. It's just a black and white, short little 16-page zine, but I did it in kind of a comic book form.
Yeah, that's great.
It's all collage stuff from like the kind of comic books I like from like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm always creating stuff.
I would love to another time, obviously not now and we're on the show now, I'd love to pick your brain on that, because I know I could do it through Amazon and stuff like this, but I've always wanted to produce a comic book, and I'm sure you'd be able to give me some advice on that.
Okay, we can chat.
I think this would be a great place also in one show or something to discuss how to create something, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've tried to do t-shirts before and I failed
let's literally do this on next week's show. Let's remember that we've said this, and on next week's show, let's talk about how we're all creative people, like what we come up with, whether it's comics, books, t-shirts, videos, whatever you want.
What are our failures, and how others can learn from our failures, so that they can.
Oh, Tim, like if we want a competition here of like who feels that we have the most to teach from failures. Like I've even failed on that word. Nah, I swear it's got to be me. Like
okay, well, all right. I don't normally. I would call myself the first place of losers. So, but
I think being 61 years old, I think I got more years on you. I think I could whoop you all with my hands tied behind my back.
Well, look, we can do this next week, and that can be like a fun little aside to it. So we can say about like, you know, positive stuff that like, you know, things we do and things we learn from it and everything. But I'm sure along the way we'll be like, yeah, and then I made this and no one gave a shit, right? And that will be like, you know, that'll be something fun along the way.
That could be our game.
Yeah.
No one gave a shit.
Yeah.
But
like,
it can't be
like this, like I ordered 100 copies and I may have sold like 10.
Yeah, well, but that might.
No one gave a shit.
And that might be down to like the marketing side. Marketing is like the bane of my existence, guys. Like. I'm someone, and I probably told this story like a week ago or whatever, that flyering for Extreme Improv, I was bitten by a dog through a letterbox like a postman. And then like literally I had surgery, you won't be able to see it properly here, but like I don't have my old fingerprint anymore because a dog just sort of like, as I put like the flyer through a door box, it went like this.
Oh my god!
And I had to have surgery on my hand. This was in 2019. And then since then, I've got a relative who's like a postman, gave me this device, and it kind of looks like a ruler, and you sort of like push it through so your hand never goes through. And I swear I told this story like a week ago. Maybe none of you guys were on it.
You did.
All right, yeah. And a dog stole the thing out my hand, and it stole it through the letterbox. And so there it's like, great, now I don't have the thing. But it would have been my hand if not. It would have been my hand.
Devious pup.
Yeah.
Devious pup.
Okay,
What
so
dog was it? What was it?
okay, so the one that bit me, it didn't sound huge. It sounded like a medium-sized dog. I didn't see it. The one from like 10 days ago sounded huge. It's like woof. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Right. But yeah, it sounded huge. But like after I was bitten by the dog, because I love dogs and stuff, when I went to the hospital, and like it was going like purple, and I kept going up to the desk. I was like, my finger's gonna die. Do something. It looked alive when I came in. Now it looks like it's dying. But eventually, when I gave in, they give you like a tetanus or rabies shot or whatever.
Rabies shot.
Yeah, and then like they start like questioning me. They're like, "So was this your dog?" I was like, "No, this wasn't my dog." It's like, "Well, how did this happen?" I was like, "Well, I put a flyer through a thing." It's like, "Well, where was this? Did you see the dog?" I was like, "No, it was inside the house." And then I was having like the police phone me up. It's like, "So we understand there was an incident and stuff." And I was like, like, yeah, but I said, like, because I didn't know. For all I know, they'd be like, well, the dog has to be, you know, put to sleep or something. I don't want that on my conscience. Like, I don't want the dog to attack anyone else.
It wasn't a dog. It was my roommate.
Like, I don't want the dog to attack a kid or something, and I don't want that on my conscience. But I was like, it's a dog. I'm going to forgive the dog. Turn the other cheek. I'm not causing trouble for a dog. And they were like, well, where was this? And I didn't know the exact address. So I was like, it's in this vague area. And I was like, I'm not, like, I'd let the dog eat my finger before I'd have them go and hurt the dog, basically. Guys, on this note, we are going to have to wrap things. I've got a bunch of people in the waiting room I wanted us to finish on the game, but we've kind of, like, we've chatted our way out of time. And I'll have to let these people in before they disappear. But Gerald says, major comic nerd here. Well, Gerald, like, get in touch if you've given some insightful stuff. So if you want to come on the show, it says if you do not fail. Hang on, if you do not fail, you do not learn / grow. Let's have a look. I will buy a couple. Also, you should increase the price of the digital one. So I don't know if that was for you, Marty, but you may have a sale there. So this is why we plug things.
Yeah, my cohort, my partner set the price for digital, so you'd have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you think the price should be higher, just buy 10. There you go. Now, let's.
Marty would have sold 20 copies.
Yeah. Oh, Joe, I'll just say the one thing on that. When I put out my first book, and it was like, it was like $12.99 or whatever, and that's like in UK money, and then like on the US like store, it was like $12.99, and the exchange rate isn't the same. Like I had a couple of people saying, "Hey, that means it's more expensive in the UK," and I was like, "Well, do you want me to make it so that it's like $13.61 just so it makes sense to the ear?" It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, there'll be a sale at some point. It'll work out. Right, let's find out. Yeah, send me a note. Send a note. Get in touch. Right. Let's find out very quickly, because I need to let people in, where we can find everyone's social media. Cap, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Swifties, where I do everything, anything, and absolutely nothing. And, that's my other plug. Recently I put a series called What If Gaston from Beauty and the Beast had a YouTube channel. There's 3 shows today, you can go check them out. And also, I recorded another YouTube guy reaction video. The last one did 15,000 views, and this one has only did 77 views. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Make it a lot more views. Come and check it out.
We'll figure this out on whichever show, whether it's next week or whatever. We'll figure out all of our marketing and creative problems. Tim?
Hey, you can find me here at Geek Battle, also in Warwick, Rhode Island with Bring Your Own Improv, and on Instagram with Potato Based Economy, where I explore everything culture, soil health, nutrition, economics based through the lens of the potato.
Awesome. Marty?
You can find me on Instagram at What Would Jesus Glue. That's where there's a link to all of my stuff. If you're interested in the stuff that my press does, you can go to @Microverse Press on Instagram, and find that. And I'm going to be in a sketch show this Saturday if you're in the Atlanta area. All the info for that is also on my Instagram.
Awesome. My name is David Pasansky. You'll find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm just going to show it. You should know where to find this by now. Get my books. They're all on Amazon. We're running out of time, so until next time, check out, refresh the page in a minute for some extreme improv. Until next time, stay safe, always stay extreme, live long and prosper.